Okay. Hello, welcome to this lecture on how to search literature and data online. So nowadays we live in a 4IR world. So 4IR stands for Fourth Industrial Revolution, or alternatively, we live in a digital world now. So it's now much more convenient to look for, let's say, economics literature and data online. So I think I can skip this slide. Okay, this slide I can also skip it. I want to focus on this one. Okay, I will explain how to download time series cross-sectional data, South African data, or the data of other countries. Okay, for cross-country comparisons, and then conference paper. And in brackets, I said beware of the quality of these papers, because usually we start off. I mean, the researchers start off by presenting their latest research at conferences. So in other words, the papers might still be maybe work in progress or maybe of shaky quality. Okay. And then later, if accepted for publications, they could turn out to be working papers, research papers, and then this would be the most prestigious form of publication, journal articles. Okay, because when it comes to the journal articles, the manuscript must first be reviewed by one or two anonymous reviewers. Then they provide comments, and then they eventually, hopefully, they would approve the manuscript for publications. Okay, but beware of the accreditation of the journal. Some journals are accredited, which means acceptable quality, but there are certain suspicious journals that are not accredited, actually. Books, research books, assuming they are freely downloadable, I'm going to show you there are some books that are legally and freely downloadable. You can even make use of the postgraduate thesis of former students. You are allowed to use the thesis as one of your reference sources. Okay, data I already talk about later. Okay, but don't forget that you still must not neglect the library facility. So in other words, maybe there are some hard copies research books. Okay, for instance, the books are not available for free download as, let's say, electronic PDF files, or maybe there are certain journals that the PDF files are not available, then you have to really go to the library to make photocopies of the hard copy journal articles. Okay, so I am going to have 10 videos, okay, on various websites. Okay, Reserve Bank, Statistics South Africa, then the two well-known South African research institutions, URSA and ESSA. Then there are 4 institutions based at UCT, and then 3 more institutions, and then IMF. I think you know IMF, World Bank, and then these 3 Brookings, Uniwide, MBER. They are the international research institutions. Then I think you all know Google Scholar, ResearchGate by now. Okay, Google search, even with random Google search, you can actually find some interesting, useful information. And then the last one will be the library website. I will focus on the 3 South African universities, UCT, UWC, and Stellenbosch. So I'm going to start off with the Reserve Bank website. Okay. So let me copy that. Okay. So I will focus on the quarterly bulletin of the Reserve Bank. You can download as PDF file, or you can download as Excel data. Okay. And for Reserve Bank, it's time series data. Okay. Okay, I think I can skip this slide because I'm going to show you this page in a second. Okay, and then for this one, I think when we eventually download the Excel data, then we are going to see some weird letters at the end, actually. So for now, we need to remember K stands for quarterly data, J stands for annual data. Okay, stats as a we leave it until later. So let me paste the website link. A lot of websites have been revamped recently, so they look prettier actually. And this is why I create all these online learning videos from scratch actually. Okay, publications, quarterly bulletin. Let's start off with the old school method. If you download the PDF report, so it will be the last one, quarterly bulletin publications. I think the website would show the most recently released quarterly bulletin. So December 2021, so it released the 2021 third quarter time series data. Remember the time lag. Usually it takes 3 months before the data will be released by Reserve Bank because the research institution needs time to compile the data and then put the data in the right format, and then they need to do some typing to create a quarterly bulletin before releasing the report or data. Okay, so this is the summary paragraphs on what happened during the third quarter of 2021. Then there are various sections, okay? We are not, I think I will look at the commonly used one, national accounts, okay? PDF, so I save it as, let me save it on the desktop. You see statistical tables, national accounts. Okay, so let me open that. I save it on the desktop. It is this one. I think I would use the GDP actually. Okay, okay, and then each variable has got a data code. Okay, so let's look at GDP by expenditure on GDP, C plus I plus G plus X minus M. So this is C consumption, I. Oh, this is I actually. Yeah, and then G, okay, yeah, government expenditure and so forth, then exports and imports. So I will focus on GDP. I always remember the data code is 6006, okay? And this is in current prices. So let's say 2013. I need to remember this value, 3.86 million. Okay. And then in constant prices, so the base year is 2015. So the base year has been changed. It used to be 2010, but now the base year has been changed to 2015. And then this is the real GDP constant prices, 2013. So I need to remember this is the in current prices, 3.8 something million, and this is in constant prices, 4 point something. Okay, I need to remember the two values because later when I download the data in Excel format, there would be two columns. One showing the GDP in current prices, the other column showing the GDP in constant prices. I need to make sure I use the right column because remember, as economists, we analyze the data in constant prices. Okay, but getting rid of the impact of inflation. Okay, so now I would go back to publications, quarterly bulletin, download the information in XLSX. It should mean Excel format. Let's hope it won't take too much time. Is it taking a bit too long now? Should I refresh the page? Let me try it again. Okay, download information from XLSX data files, quarterly bulletin download information in Excel format. And I think this is the most recent one, as I said earlier, December 2021. And then for this bulletin, the third quarter 2021 time series data, macro data were released. Okay, so download. Okay, and then again, I focus on the national account zip file, so it means I have to unzip the data later. Okay, again, I save on desktop. Okay, that's quick. Okay. Extract here. Okay, it's actually one Excel file. Okay. This one. Okay, K, I think you see this sheet K1, it should mean quarterly data. So you see 1960 first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and then you see the data code. So 6006, I know it's GDP. So probably one column stands for current prices, one column stands for constant prices, and there are two other columns. Probably they stands for the growth rate actually. One column on current prices, one column on constant price, annual growth rate or something like that. Okay. But I will focus on the J1 sheet, which is annual data. Okay, now you see 1946, 47, and so forth. So I would only focus on these three columns because I see the variable code 6006. Okay, let me just hide these other columns. You can see a lot of variables. Okay, just on one session of the quarterly reserve bulletin. Ooh, there's a lot actually. Okay. I need to be very sure I distinguish the current price variable correctly from the constant price variable. So remember from the PDF file, I focus on 2013. So it's here. Yes, 3.86, 4.3. So in other words, I know this one would give me the current price value. This one, constant price. So I'm going to focus on this one. Oh, spelling error. And this growth rate, is it on the constant prices? Let me just double check. It should be on the constant prices. As I said, economists would analyze a variable in constant prices. Yes, 1.9. Yeah, 7.4, 2.3. Yes. So I can confirm it is the annual real GDP growth rate using the constant price variable. And then you can make use of the data to plot any types of charts as you want. So let's say, for example, I want to do a column chart on real GDP since 2000. Okay, so I will highlight the data. Okay, remember chart plotting skill is not the focus of this lecture, okay, because it was already covered in the bootcamp on regarding the use of Excel. Okay, okay. It looks a bit ugly because I actually need to invest time to do some plastic, let me call it plastic surgery, okay, to make the chart prettier, okay. Not bad, okay. Yeah. And then maybe let's do the last one on the annual growth rate of the real GDP. This time maybe I do a line chart. So you can see we suffer recession in 2009 and 2020, and we already know why. What happened in 2020 because of the COVID-19 driven economic lockdown. Okay, so this is the first video on the Reserve Bank website. And in the second video, we will move on to the Statistics South Africa website. So see you in a second.